Welcome to Rebel Chaser. My name is Gail, and I have a video for you from Judge Middleton in Michigan. He is holding a preliminary exam for a woman who had a little jealous beef with a car. And the lovely Deborah Davis comes in to make her attorney pay for being such a jerk. I'll let you guys watch.
This is the time and date for a preliminary examination in the matter of People versus Samantha Marie Kelly. That's you?
Yep. Yes.
We've met. You've been here several times. I'm Judge Middleton. You're charged in a felony complaint that alleges that on or about July 22nd, you did willfully and maliciously injure a car which belonged to Paige Curlin, and the amount of the injury was $1,000 or more, but less than $20,000. That is a felony, commonly known as malicious destruction of property over $1,000, which is punishable by up to 5 years imprisonment and a fine of up to $10,000, or 3 times the amount of damage to the car. This matter was adjourned a couple of times for further discovery and investigation of the matter, and it's set for preliminary examination today. Ms. Kelly, as I explained, a preliminary examination is a hearing where it must be established beyond a probable cause standard that there's reason to believe that a crime was committed and reason to believe that you did it. You won't be found guilty or not guilty at this hearing. In a case of the more things change, the more they stay the same, Deborah Davis is here on behalf of the St. Joseph County Prosecuting Attorney's Office, has recently been appointed as a special prosecuting attorney pending today's election result and the first of the year when the new elected officials take office. You're here with your lawyer, Mr. Paul Gibson. My understanding was there was a plea offer to MDOP over 200, but less than 1,000. The defendant declined, has maintained throughout that she didn't do this. And so here we are. Mr. Gibson, are we going to do a preliminary examination here today?
Yes.
All right, Ms. Davis, are the people ready to proceed?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, well, let's get right to it. May call your first witness.
Thank you, Your Honor. The people will call Savannah Hampton. Because she has a, can Your Honor keep the camera locked on either the bench or the defendant, whichever?
Yeah, let's see how to do this.
Thank you.
Because she's going to be seen on the way in.
I think it's
I'd lock it on you.
All right, we'll lock it on counsel.
So
Lock it on me for right now.
There we go. Lost you.
The problem is she's going to be visible in this angle. Just a
she's
moment.
pretty small. I'm not sure she will or not.
All right, please come forward if you would. Well, ask her to have a seat, please.
You want to sit first?
Yes, please. All right, that works out pretty good.
Message on my, okay.
All right, you can unlock my camera. And lock it on the defense counsel and the podium. Good morning or good afternoon. I'm Judge Middleton. Did you meet Miss Davis from the prosecutor's office? Yes. Could you tell me your name?
Savannah.
All right, Savannah, could you speak up? Could you spell your name for me?
SAVANNA.
AH.
Hampton. How old are you, Savannah? Where did you go to school?
Elementary.
What grade are you in? Good for you. You ride the bus?
Yes.
Yeah, you have to get out there. Well, I'm going to ask you if you'd raise your right hand. Do you promise or swear that anything you're about to testify to will be true to the best of your knowledge and belief?
Yes.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
The way it's set up now, Debbie's out of frame. Maybe it's just her.
I'm not sure, let's see, if I hit overall.
That's fine.
Is it screen?
Yes. All right, you may inquire.
Thank you. Savannah, what's your mom's name?
Paige.
Do you know her last name?
Corley.
Carolyn, okay. And where do you and your mom live? What town?
3 Rivers.
3 Rivers, and that's in Michigan? Yes. And do you recall going to a store with your mom's boyfriend last summer?
Yeah.
And on July 22nd of 2024, what store did you guys go to?
Walmart.
You went to Walmart. And do you know what town you were in?
3 Rivers.
Okay. And what were you doing there?
We were getting stuff to grill.
To grill? Okay. And what is Charles's last name, if you know?
Hampton.
Hampton? Okay. And what vehicle or car did you guys take?
My mom's car.
And do you know what kind of car your mom's car was?
No.
Do you remember what color it was?
Silver.
Silver, okay. And did you go anywhere else besides Walmart?
No.
No other stores or?
No.
Okay. Did you go to any other houses besides your own? And whose house did you go to?
Sam's house.
And who is Sam? Your Honor, may the record reflect she's pointed to the defendant.
It may. You can't see it on the record, but I saw it.
Savannah, how do you know Sam?
My dad lives there.
Your dad lives there. Okay. So your dad is Charles Hampton?
Yes.
Okay. And how many times have you seen Sam?
A lot.
Okay. Over a couple of years or how often?
I don't know.
If she walked up to you in a store, would you know who it was?
Yes.
All right. And so the person that you pointed out today, do you know her last name?
No.
No, you just know her name is Sam. And what's her relationship to your dad? Do they have any children together?
Yes.
Okay. Are they older or younger than you?
Younger.
Younger. And on the day that you went to the store with Charles, did you go to Sam's house before or after you went to Walmart?
After.
All right. And what were you going there for?
We were dropping off diapers.
And do you know who the diapers were for?
My younger brothers.
And had you been to Sam's house before?
Yes.
When you got there, did you get out of the car?
No.
What did you do?
I was sitting there until my dad was. I was sitting there when my dad was giving her the diapers.
When you say her, are you talking about Sam?
Yes.
Okay. Was your dad in the car or outside of the car?
Outside.
And were the windows up or were they down? Do you remember?
They were up.
Okay. Could you hear what they were saying?
No.
Could you see them?
Yes.
Can you describe what you saw?
I saw my dad hand the diapers, then Sam saw the grilling supplies and she got mad.
Would you say Sam saw the grilling supplies? Where were those?
In the backseat.
Okay. And what happened after Sam saw the stuff in the back seat?
She got mad and she pulled out her keys and started kicking my mom's car.
When you say keying your mom's car, can you describe to me what part of the car and what she was doing?
The whole side of the car.
When you say keying, like, are you talking about like car keys or, okay.
Objection leading.
I'll allow it.
So what were you doing when that was happening?
I was sitting in the car.
And did Sam say anything when she was doing this?
I don't remember.
Okay. Did she stay on one side of the car, if you remember, or?
Yes.
Okay. And so what was your dad doing?
My dad was handing the diapers, then he got back in the car.
And when you guys were both back in the car, what was Sam doing?
I don't remember.
It's okay. What happened after, or how did you leave Sam's house?
We pulled off, then she threw a rock at my mom's car.
She threw a rock? Okay. Do you remember how big the rock was?
It was like medium size.
When you say medium, like a golf ball or a baseball or you're gonna let the record reflect. She's got her fingers like an inch.
All right, maybe an inch apart or so.
Did you hear the rock hit the car?
Yeah, kinda.
Okay. Did you see anything that happened when it hit the car?
No.
Okay. What happened after that?
We pulled off and went to my mom's house.
And when you got to your mom's house, what happened?
We took everything inside that was in the car. Then my dad started grilling.
Did he tell your mom what happened to the car?
No.
When did mom realize what happened to the car?
The next day.
Okay. And did mom ask you anything about it?
I don't remember.
Okay. Did you see anybody else around outside when this was happening with the keying of the car?
No.
Were there any other adults or kids around?
No.
I believe I have any further questions for this witness. You gotta wait there, and Mr. Gibson might have some questions for you, okay?
This is Mr. Gibson. He's representing Sam. It's her lawyer. And he has some questions for you too. And so just tell him the truth best you can.
What was what was Samantha wearing? Or Sam, as you called her?
I don't remember.
And you said that she had a key in her hand?
Yes.
Which hand?
I don't remember.
What time of day was it?
It was like the afternoon.
What does that mean?
Like at 5-ish.
So did this make a sound when you claim that the car was keyed?
I don't remember.
So it didn't make a sound,
She didn't say that.
but you don't remember hearing any sound. Correct?
Asked and answered, Your Honor.
Well, can you answer? Do you remember any sort of sound?
I do a little bit.
Were the windows up?
Yes.
Was the air conditioner on?
No.
So you said that when this happened, your father was talking with Sam?
No, he went in the car when he handed the diapers.
What happened? Like he handed her diapers, and then what happened?
Then he got back in the car.
And that's when you say that she keyed the car?
Yes.
Were the windows open?
No.
Were any of the doors open?
Yeah.
Which door?
It was like halfway open, and it was the back seat.
The back seat door was open?
A little bit.
Where do you claim that this car got keyed? Like where on the car?
Like the whole side.
Which side?
The driver's side.
The same side that the same side that the back seat door was open?
No.
Well, you said that the back seat door was open on, correct?
Yes. It was on the other side.
Why was that open?
Because the diapers were on that side.
Isn't it true that your
Girl,
mom
can I
told
take a
you to
break
say
for a
this?
second?
Aren't you lying?
Just a minute, just a minute.
No.
Break for a second, you wanted to step outside or something?
No, we'll take a breath here and we'll try to continue. Uh, Savannah, you're doing just fine. We're almost done. And all you can do is just tell what you know. So if you don't know something, and you've said that sometimes, nobody's mad at you. You're just trying to do the best you can. And so I don't know where you were going with your questions, but that's not very effective questioning for. So go ahead and try to ask the question you want to ask. And Savannah,
In what way was the car damaged?
I don't remember.
Excuse me?
I don't remember.
So do you know if the car was damaged?
Yes.
But you don't know in what way?
No.
So does that mean it might have not been damaged?
Objection, Your Honor, calling for speculation.
let me ask this, Savannah, did the car have a scratch on it?
Yes.
Did you see it?
Yes.
And it did go all down the driver's side of the car?
Yes.
Thank you. Mr. Gibson?
So when you got back home, did you have a conversation with your mother?
No.
So you didn't talk with your mother about this incident?
No, my father said don't tell her.
Who said that?
My father.
Isn't it correct that your father saw this happen
Yes.
and he approved of it?
You
Objection,
can't
Your Honor,
ask
you can't
that.
answer
That question's stricken.
Did your father give her permission to do what happened?
No.
How do you know?
You can't answer that either.
Wasn't the door closed? Did you hear the conversation between Sam and your father?
No.
So how would you know whether or not he gave her permission to do it? You wouldn't know that, right?
Objection, Your Honor.
Well, she didn't say that she did. So you're asking her to answer a question she hasn't answered. She said she didn't know, and then you said, how do you know that it didn't happen? She didn't hear.
How do you know that you don't know?
Paul, you can't ask a question like that.
Well, I question whether this witness is competent.
Well, I thought she was doing fine. Just ask questions that can be answered with a direct answer and don't require speculation on the witness's part.
Do you know who the car belonged to that you claim was keyed?
Yes.
Who?
My mom.
And do you know how much the damage was?
Objection, Your Honor, this is a roll.
Well, it was already asked and answered, and she said she didn't know.
Okay. So Do you remember if your mom called the police about this incident?
Yes, she did.
Do you remember if it was the same day that you and your dad went to Sam's, or was it later, like a different day?
It was the next day.
The next, okay. Do you remember around, well, I think you may have answered this, but do you remember around what time that you and your father got back home that day from where you guys had been?
5-ish.
5. Okay. And so from your memory, your mom called law enforcement the next day, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So prior to your mother calling law enforcement, did you have a conversation with your mother about this incident?
Yes, the next day.
Okay. Do you remember around what time the next day you and your mother had a conversation about it?
I don't want to.
Okay. I have no further questions, Your Honor.
No further questions, Your
All
Honor.
right, just a moment. Would you lock the camera on me? Savannah, I thought you did just fine, and you're free to go. Why don't you go with, who's your next witness?
Your Honor, the people will call Paige Curlin.
Couldn't unlock the camera. Good afternoon. Would you face me? How's that? Now, I know who you are, but would you state your name for the record, please?
It's Paige Curlin.
You swear or affirm any testimony you're about to give in this matter will be true to the best of your knowledge and belief.
Yes.
All right, please have a seat. And for the court reporter, would you spell your first and last name?
It's Paige, last name Curlin, Kirlin.
Thank you.
Thank you. Paige, do you live in Three Rivers?
I do.
And that's in St. Joseph County, Michigan?
Yes.
And in summer of 2024, what kind of vehicle were you driving?
It was a 2019 Kia Sorento,
And what color was it?
like a silver grayish.
Did you let other people drive that car?
I have, yes.
And did you let Charles Hampton drive that car?
I did, yes.
And what was your relationship to him?
He is my youngest daughter's father.
Okay. And who is your youngest daughter?
Her name's Savannah.
Also Hampton?
Yes.
Okay. And on July 22nd, 2024, did you allow Charles Hampton to take your vehicle?
I did, yes.
And what was the purpose of that?
He was taking Savannah to the store to get stuff to barbecue, grill out for the day, for the dinner.
Do you remember what time of day that was?
It was like 4, maybe. I don't really remember the time.
Okay, so afternoon.
Yeah.
All right. And when they came back, did you talk to Charles and Savannah?
I did, yes.
Did you go out and look at the car?
No.
Did you have any reason to drive the car the rest of that night? Okay. So at what point did you believe that something was wrong with your car?
The next day I think I was taking a shower, getting ready for something. Savannah came and she said, she asked me, did you see your car? Or did you see, she asked me something about my car and I was like, no, why?
Objection, Your Honor, hearsay.
Well, it's not going to prove the truth of the matter asserted. Just goes to show what she said next. So I'll allow the answer.
So Savannah's 9, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Is she the only child that lives at home with you?
No.
So again, Savannah made a statement to you about asking whether you looked at your car,
Yeah.
and then what happened?
I said no, but I was, that's not just a normal question that she would ask. So I was like, what happened? I thought that she had done something, or it was outside playing or something happened to my car, like something like that. So and then she started crying.
But we're getting close to this part is hearsay. What Savannah told you about what happened is hearsay. So Ms. Davis, if you can ask.
Sure.
Delicately.
So without saying what Savannah told you, you had started to say how she appeared when she was talking to you. Can you describe like what her demeanor was?
She was upset.
And when you say upset, what do you mean?
Distraught. She didn't really want to tell me.
And so what did you do after having this conversation?
I think I said something to Charles, asked him like what happened, why he didn't tell me.
And without saying what he said, was he forthcoming to you about what happened?
He confirmed what she had told me.
He confirmed what Savannah had said?
Yes.
Okay. So at what point did you go out and like inspect your car?
Before I said something to Charles, like even before I said anything at all, I went to look and see how bad it was, I guess. And
can you describe for the record the damages that you saw on that day that had not been there prior to Charles and Savannah taking the car?
Yeah, the car had what looked to me like key marks from the entire like driver's side of the vehicle all the way down the entire car and back and forth, at least
were
some
they
areas back and forth,
like straight or jagged or any particular pattern?
It was kind of wavy, a little, I don't know.
What?
Wavy.
Okay. Anybody take a picture of it?
I do have pictures from that we submitted for insurance.
All right, thank you.
After you saw the damage to your car and you spoke with Savannah and Charles, what did you do?
I filed a police report.
Okay. And did an officer come out to your house?
Yes, he did.
Do you know where Sam lives?
I do know the street and I could get there. I don't know the house number. But
is it in the city of Three Rivers?
Yes.
Okay, and that's also in St. Joseph County, Michigan?
Yes.
Did you get an estimate for the damages?
I did, yes.
And where did you go to get that?
Chi1d body shop in Three Rivers, I believe.
What was your relationship with Samantha Kelly?
We don't have one.
Do you know her?
I do.
Okay. So just trying to, has she ever borrowed your car?
No.
Did you give her permission to do anything to your car that day?
I did not. I didn't give permission for it to be there at all.
So you didn't know that Charles was going to be stopping by?
I did not.
Okay. And the person that you know to be Samantha Kelly, is she here in the courtroom?
She is.
Can you describe what she's wearing for the record, please?
A blue sweatshirt.
Your Honor, may the record reflect she's identified the defendant?
It may.
Has Ms. Kelly ever said anything to you about this incident?
Directly, no, I don't believe so.
Do you know what the amount of damages ended up being from that estimate?
From the original?
Yes.
Yes, it was like 4,100 was the original. I don't remember the exact number.
I'll have another witness for that. So I don't believe I have any further questions of this witness.
All right, once again, Ms. Curlin, this is Mr. Gibson. He's representing Ms. Kelly, and he has some questions for you also. So
you said that you had the car, I guess, checked out by a body shop and they gave you an estimate. So did you then get the car repaired?
I did not.
Okay, so the car was not repaired.
Correct.
Do you still have the car?
I do not.
Did you sell the car?
No, I'm in the process of getting it back. I lost my job earlier this year.
You're on, I guess, relevance, we don't ever object.
Well, I
All
guess,
right, well, I guess it is, where is the car now? If you want to
did the
inspect it.
law enforcement take photographs to your knowledge that day?
I believe so.
Okay, because I know you had mentioned that you might have taken some personally, but do you think law enforcement also took photographs?
I believe they did. I know that the body shop did.
Okay. But if somebody wanted to inspect the car now, do you know where it's located?
I do.
Okay, where is it located?
I mean, it's on a piece of paper at my house. I didn't memorize the address, but
Okay,
Say that again.
I have it written down. I have a letter, of what I need to do to,
Where, so it's the finance company or something is holding it?
correct.
Okay.
so the day that you reported this to law enforcement, do you remember what day of the week this was
I believe it was a Sunday.
that you reported it to law enforcement?
Yes.
So what,
Well, just a minute. It's charged as July 22nd. July 22nd is a Monday.
I don't remember. I thought it was a Sunday.
Well, I'm not sure if that's the day it was reported or the day that it allegedly happened, but the complaint says it happened July 22nd. That's a Monday.
I know it. Oh, I don't.
so do you know if do you believe that you found out about this damage to your car one day after it had actually occurred then? Is that what your testimony is?
Yes.
Okay. And so when you found out about it, then that same day you called law enforcement?
No.
Oh, okay.
Oh, the same day I found out? Yes. Not
Right.
the same day it happened.
Okay. So when you told the police, when you in a sense reported this, do you recall it, if you said to them that it's your understanding it happened yesterday? Or I guess I'm just trying to
It happened on a Saturday.
okay, so the car was damaged on a Saturday. Is it possible that you didn't report this then until the Monday after the Saturday?
It's possible, yes.
Okay. So in July of 2024, toward the second half of that, I mean, do you believe that you drove your car every day? So like you would have noticed this, or like were there certain days of the week you maybe didn't drive your car?
I didn't have any reason to drive it over the weekends. No, I wasn't driving every day.
Okay. Okay. So, do you believe that your daughter is of a maturity level to where she would understand if the judge told her that she was supposed to swear to tell the truth? Do you think that she's capable of understanding that type of I guess you could say instruction?
I do.
What grade in school is your daughter?
She is in 4th grade.
Okay. So I just want to clarify, the first that you ever heard about this, you believe, came from your daughter, correct?
Correct.
All right.
And she confirmed, or I confirmed the story with Charles, her dad.
Was there a prior incident approximately 2 years ago when your daughter made an allegation that she had been assaulted by
Objection, Your
Samantha?
Honor.
Sustained.
You said,
The objection is sustained.
what was the objection?
I asked to have the question.
Well, A, it's
stricken
not
from the record.
relevant. B, it,
Relevance is fine. I guess I didn't hear what she had said as far as her objection. So has your daughter known Samantha for more than a year?
Yes.
And have they had contact from time to time?
Yes.
Okay. I have no further questions.
a couple. In looking at the complaint charges this as having occurred on or about July 22nd. So someone other than Ms. Davis charged this. The affidavit of probable cause submitted by Officer Derek Bowen says that the incident happened on 7/20, and 7/20 would be a Saturday. And according to this, it was reported on 7/22. So that may help the confusion. The complaint doesn't have the exact correct date on it.
It could have been.
Well, the affidavit says it happened on the 20th, Saturday. Now, does Charles live with you or does he live with Samantha?
He lives with Samantha.
All right, so he's the father of your daughter, but presently lives with Samantha.
Correct.
So he was at your house on Saturday visiting and was gonna come back and barbecue at your house?
Correct.
All right, and does he also have children with Samantha?
I believe so. I'm not sure.
All right. I guess I'll just leave it at that. I guess the question is, why would she do this? But I guess that'll be an ultimate question for somebody who's gonna hear this, or I'll just leave it at that. Thank you. All right, you're free to step down.
Thank you.
Now the people called Mike Lee Mix from Candy Body Shop.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Every once in a while, you guys get dragged into one of these.
Yeah. Yeah, Brian couldn't make it today.
All right, please raise your right hand. You swear or affirm any testimony you're about to give will be true to the best of your knowledge and belief.
Yes, I do.
All right, have a seat if you would and state your name for the record.
Name is Mike Lemax, Lemacks.
Ms. Davis?
My Mike, where do you work
Chi1d Body Shop.
and what do you do there?
I am Brian's general manager. I've
How
been
long?
there 29 years.
29 years, okay. As part of your duties, do you assist customers with getting estimates?
Yes, I do every day.
Okay, and do you keep the records of those estimates?
On computer, yes, we do.
Okay. Do you recall an estimate being done for a Page Curlin?
I do know Brian wrote that estimate. I did review it this morning.
Okay. May I approach you?
Yes.
If you recognize that packet of
Yes.
paperwork,
Yeah,
is this what you brought with you today?
it is.
All right, and can you look through that, make sure that everything is as it was when you brought it in?
Yes, it is.
Is it a true and accurate depiction of the estimate that was made by Chi1d Body Shop?
Well, what I can tell you is Brian, as we always do, we write an estimate, how we think it needs to be written. We send it to insurance, and what you see in front of you is the revised edition back from insurance.
And so this is the most recent,
This is, yes, this is the most recent. This is where we'd have to start the estimate to repair the vehicle
okay.
through State Farm.
And the loss date is listed as 7/20/24, is that correct?
I'm assuming yes.
Okay, and on the front page, there's a create date that it says 7/23/24, is that accurate?
I do believe so, yeah.
Okay, so you're not, I guess I've asked to have this admitted as the People's Exhibit number 1.
Mr. Gibson, do you wish to voir dire?
We would leave this in the court's discretion.
Now, I know who you're talking about, but a couple of times you referred to Brian. Who is Brian?
Brian is Brian Kaiser. He is the owner of Chi1d Body Shop.
And you're his general manager.
Yes, sir.
And as general manager, you're in part responsible for keeping the records of Chi1d Body Shop.
Yes, I mean, pretty much any estimate that's written is saved in our computer database.
All right. Did you ever see this car yourself?
I have not. I just reviewed the photographs this morning and just went over Brian's estimate with the photographs.
All right, exhibit number 1 is admitted. It is a canceled customer request. It is 3 pages of estimate. And then there are several pages of photographs. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 pages of photographs and 4 pages of supplemental. So it's a total of 4, 7, 10 pages. And do the photos show some scratch damage to the driver's side of this Kia automobile?
That is what is shown here, yes.
And it goes across several panels of the automobile.
Yep, it looks like it starts on the hood and goes down the length of the driver's side. Fender, both doors and quarter panel.
All right, so hood, front door, back door, and rear quarter panel.
Correct.
So 4 separate panels of this automobile,
Technically 5 with
the hood and the front quarter panel.
Yes.
All right. And what was your estimate after revision from the insurance company to repair this damage?
When we got that back from State Farm, it was a total of $2,956. Oh, I'm sorry. $2,998.90. Sorry.
And the customer had a $200 deductible with insurance,
That does look like it, yes.
but the damage repair estimate with tax is $2,998.90. Is that correct?
Correct.
All right, exhibit 1 is received.
Like the pictures that are attached to this are black and white photocopies. Did
Right.
you look at like full
I
color
looked at,
copies?
yes, I did. In fact, that's what I brought in on the SD card for you today. It was full color.
And on those full color, they had a high definition type pictures.
Mhm.
Could you see a pattern or any sort of
Just
marking?
kind of went, down the entire length of the vehicle.
May the record reflect he's making like a wavy
Yeah,
motion.
wavy motion, yeah.
And you've been looking at cars for 29 years that have been
Long
damaged,
time,
right?
yeah.
Were the damages consistent with all kind of happening in the same time frame, or
They
could you see
look to
them?
be of all the same manner, they were all the same style of scratch down the entire length of the side.
And being that you've been doing this for a while, can you tell when some scratches or dings are not
The
related?
only time you can really tell, or you can date it, is if it went through the paint enough to hit the metal and it could start to rust, which would add, you could tell it's been a while, but I didn't see any evidence of rust on it.
No further questions. Thank you.
All right.
May I ask just to clarify
Yes,
one
certainly.
thing? Just to clarify, you may have already explained this, but when it says on this written report,
Mhm.
toward the very top under Brian Bird's name, it says create date July 23rd, 2024. Is that the day that you believe that Brian inspected this vehicle?
I do believe so.
Okay. Would we have to ask Brian if we wanted to know when he first was contacted by anybody regarding this vehicle?
Honestly, I probably should have brought it with me. There is a sheet that we do when people come in. We fill out their name, address, phone number, all that stuff, and then we date it. And that's our, basically our estimate sheet is what we jot down all of our notes to create this. That would have the actual date on it of the day she came in.
Okay, now would that also have, like, if she had called on the phone before she came in, would it indicate that?
It would not. It would not.
So if somebody calls, do you guys not necessarily make a record? You only make a written record if they show up, I guess you'd
If
say?
they show up, we make a written record, and then, like, say you come in today for an estimate, I jot down today's date, but I may not have time to write that estimate for 2 or 3 days, and that's when that date, creation date right there would show up. So it may be, maybe he looked at that a couple of days beforehand, or maybe it was that same exact day. I'm not certain right at this point in time. Until I look at that other sheet. Like I said, I should have brought that, just didn't think about it.
Okay, all right, thank you. I have no further questions.
Thank you. Thank you for taking time out of your day. You're free to get back to work.
Okay,
Thank you, sir.
thank you, sir.
Ms. Davis, anything further?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Gibson, any evidence your client wishes to present?
No, Your Honor, the defense rests.
All right, evidence is completed. Ms. Davis, your argument.
And I believe that there's adequate testimony to meet the probable cause standard for the one count of malicious destruction of personal property at 1,000 or more, but less than 20,000 regarding the damage that was done to the Kia Sorento automobile that is owned by Paige Curlin. The damage was done by Samantha Kelly, is witnessed by Savannah Hampton, who testified as to what she saw, what she heard. I think that the consistency between what she reported and then from what Ms. Curlin was saying, she confirmed it with the other adult that was there. The damage wasn't on her car before Charles and Savannah took it that day. And whether she saw it the next day or 2 days later doesn't really matter. It doesn't take away from the fact that we have a 9-year-old child who saw this happen. As far as the amount of damages, again, from the testimony of the gentleman from Chi1d Body Shop, it meets the threshold for the 1,000 or more, but less than 20,000. And from the testimony of Ms. Curlin, there was no permission given to Ms. Kelly to do this to the car. She didn't even know that Charles was going to stop there. And it sounds like their relationship between these two ladies is not good. So I believe that there's probable cause to bind over on the malicious destruction of personal property, 1,000 or more, but less than 20,000. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Gibson?
Thank you. I have concerns with the child witness as to whether or not she fully can understand the oath and is competent to testify. She did appear to testify today. I guess you could say she was able to answer questions. She did indicate quite a few times that she couldn't remember. I thought it was kind of a little bit odd that when she first was testifying, she wanted to make sure everyone knew that Samantha Kelly was upset by seeing what was inside of the car and being upset by, I guess, groceries being bought for somebody. And I guess that just seems odd that then she would go home and not say anything about this at all to anybody, like as far as her mother, or that the driver of the car would have not said anyone to anybody when this happened. I guess if the driver was watching this happen, was the driver in some way involved? I mean, I guess, I don't know, but the witness did testify. And so, you know, I can't say anything that, you know, with the testimony that we have, it's in the court's discretion, but I would just ask the court to consider, to make sure that the court makes all the considerations as to whether or not this witness is potentially someone that should be permitted to testify in this case. Thank you.
Obviously, I'll leave it to the court's determination of the ability of the child to testify and the competency of her to testify. I think some of the points made are just kind of out there. Dad told the child not to tell us what the child said. This is a child who is in a car belonging to her mother with her father, who's not supposed to be going to his other children's mother's home, but he did. And the car got keyed. And I don't think that's going to make for a great grilling cookout to get back and say, hey, just letting you know, my younger children's mother freaked out and keyed your car. Sorry. I know I wasn't supposed to go there. You didn't know I was going there. It makes sense why the child didn't say anything. It makes sense why Charles didn't say anything. So, you know, as far as that argument goes, you know, I think that the court has enough to bind over. It's happened in Three Rivers, St. Joseph County, Michigan, and it happened on or about the 20th of July. And based on the information, I will be changing the complaint to make sure that it reflects that it was on the 20th.
All right, it is on or about, but it does appear that it was on the 20th. Ms. Kelly, as I told you at the outset, you don't get found guilty or not guilty at this hearing. It's a probable cause standard. And there was a lot of conjecture there and speculation in the closing arguments. It was outside the testimony, but it's reasonable based on what I heard. And I believe the reason we're not here is because we are here is because Charles Hampton isn't here. If Charles Hampton saw what the child saw and what allegedly he told Paige Curlin he saw, we wouldn't be here. So he's probably on either both sides of the fence or not available. I'm not clear. But in terms of the credibility of the child, I thought it was very good. She's in the 4th grade. She's 9 years old. The court called dozens of children as witnesses when it was prosecutor, and I've heard dozens since I've been judge. I thought this child was very credible. She was relating something that she saw. Her story makes sense. Dad told her not to tell puts her in between mother and father. She then kind of lets the cat out of the bag, and mother discovers that damage done by Samantha Kelly. I think a jury would believe this child. And then she had to get subjected to a cross-examination. And it's clear from the estimate of Chi1d Body Shop, which is a long-time reputable business in Three Rivers, that the damage is almost $3,000. You'd think a scratch of a car wouldn't be that much, but his testimony was it covered 5 panels of the car in a wavy pattern. So there's probable cause to believe that the defendant did it. It did occur in the city of Three Rivers, county of St. Joseph. There's certainly probable cause to believe that it was more than $1,000. So the matter's bound over to the circuit court. Ms. Kelly, your bond is in the amount of $1,000, personal recognizance bond. I believe there is a condition of no contact with Paige Curlin. Let me look at the bond. There should be a no contact with Savannah Hampton. Let's take a look. I won't be the finder of fact in this case. Someone else will be unless it's resolved somehow. But I believe the girl. Come on.
Did it have a note? Did it tell you not to have contact with more than one person?
Oh, no, it didn't say, but if that's the case, Savannah's at our house, I can really wait.
Well, there's no allocation that there's been any, but let me take a look. Darn it, this is frozen. There don't appear to be any bond conditions. I'm going to add one that you not have any contact with Paige Curlin or Savannah Hampton.
Your Honor, I haven't spoken with Ms. Curlin or Savannah about that, but a suggestion that I might have, because she does have younger siblings that are apparently living.
Ms. Curlin, do you want such a condition?
I do, yes.
The child is going to be called to testify. All right, Ms. Kelly, there's no allegation that you violated your bond, but the child has testified. She theoretically would be called to testify again in circuit court. So I don't want any sort of undue influence. And there is no real reason for you and Ms. Curlin to have contact. All right, you're all free to go.
Thank you,
I
Your
will
Honor.
retain the exhibits.
Personally, I love it when Miss Davis comes in because she always makes the defense look like they have egg on their face. She is always so together and she knows so much about her cases, and she did an amazing job bringing the testimony out of this young girl. And I'm really glad she made this defense attorney look like he had egg all over his face. And I hope when he walked out, he felt like the buffoon that he was, because he was really a jerk to her. So anyway, I'm trying to get a few out tonight so that you guys have something to watch instead of watching the election if you're not into that. So anyway, I just thought I'd give you some stuff to watch. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.